So again, as a tour manager, it's my job to oversee the success of a tour, of an artist's tour overall, which includes the experience for fans and concert attendees. But of course, aside from the professional side of the job, I have also just been going to concerts and music festivals for most of my life, 12 to 15 years. Everything from small church venues to nightclubs to massive music festivals. And there are several things that I have always found to be important for a concert experience. So if I want to have the best experience at a concert, these are things that I almost always try to make sure I do. So the first thing to try to do to optimize your concert experience is to come early. Come early and specifically watch the opening bands. For starters, if you get to the venue or the stadium early, it's very likely that you're going to get much better parking. So you're going to be able to park more comfortably in a much closer spot to maybe the general admission line so that you don't have to walk 10 miles to and from your car before the show, after the show, etc. Also, when it comes to opening bands, openers are often really cool. Like, you can really discover some very awesome music, especially if you're super into one style or one genre. It's very likely the opening and or support bands will be supportive of that style of music. So you could be put on to something pretty cool. And I think it's important to remember that openers and support bands are built into the structure of the night. So when I manage a tour, when we sit down and talk about who we want to bring on the road, who we want to book for locals, we think about the flow of the night. So there's a method and some thought put into why these bands are opening for this headline band. So coming early is a great way to experience the music and also set you up for success when it comes to parking and general getting to the show logistics. You can also probably get a much better spot in the line for tickets, so you don't have to wait in the cold or rain or whatever. Now, the second tip for how to make the most of your concert experience as a fan is to think about where you stand in the crowd. Now, typically the best place for audio and visual experience at a concert or at a show is typically near the front of house. And the front of house is that little tent or that little raised platform area in the middle of the crowd that faces the stage, where all of the engineers, the technicians, the LDs, the VJs, front of house, A1s, etc. will stand, because they are running the show in terms of audio, visual, lighting, etc. from that position. And because they're in that position, that is where they are basing the show off of. So they are always set up to make their location the most optimal for viewing. If you think about the way audio is typically ran in a venue as well, from the lows to everything flown, that central point is really the best place to get everything as, let's just say, flat audio-wise as possible. If you've ever stood in the back of a stadium or a big concert hall, you probably know there's all kinds of weird echoes, delays. Sometimes you can hear people talking next to you, it drowns out the music, etc. The front of house area is usually the best place to get the audio experience. Again, the visuals are ran from there and the lighting is all ran from there as well. So if you really want to experience the show as it's meant to be from a production standpoint, that is usually the best place. There are other benefits though to sort of placing yourself around the front of house area in a concert crowd. For starters, it's very easy to get access to medical if needed, again, because there are people working at the show in that front of house tent or in that gated off area. So if there was some sort of emergency, it's very easy to grab somebody that is working the show to get them to bring you medical attention if needed. And additionally, oftentimes the front of house is going to be set up with some sort of a barricade or a bike rack. And if you are the kind of person that doesn't want to stand for 6 hours, those are usually really great to lean on if they let you. Some venues, some staff are not cool with that, but if you're on the side of the front of house area and you just put an arm on the bike rack, it's usually okay and it can be pretty comfortable. Also, obvious side note, but make sure that if you go to a concert, you are wearing your earplugs. You'll probably see that most of the technicians that are up there are also wearing earplugs, and they probably have custom fitted ones, but you as a concert goer, even just the foam earplugs work great because hearing loss sucks, and I don't want that for you. The third tip for making the most of your concert experience as a fan is to listen and get to know the artist's music in advance, if possible. Now, this may seem like a no-brainer, but I know a lot of people who go to concerts because their friends invite them or because they get a free ticket from some sort of radio giveaway or whatever the case may be, and they're not really familiar with who the artist is, but they're going just because they want to get out or maybe hang out with some friends, which is totally cool. But if you really want to set yourself up for success, it's a great idea to listen to the artist's music in advance. For starters, it will make it much easier to relate to fans and friends that are at the show. It's very common to run into people in the crowd and talk, get to know each other, swap social media links, whatever. And if you guys can relate about the music, you can understand maybe where they're coming from. You can make friends that way. So if you're going out for the purposes of making friends, that's a great way to sort of start the conversation. Also, if you know the music, it's so much more enjoyable to sing along with the band. The band usually knows which songs are the best sing-along songs because they've presumably been touring or performing for a while. And if you know the music, you can sing along with them and you can join in to sort of, let's just say romantically, the magic of the show. You can join in and sing along with the crowd, sing along with the fans, and just have an overall better time. And lastly, if you know the music, usually bands will sort of create a hybrid live version of their studio recordings. So if you know how the studio version of a song sounds, you can come watch a band perform it. It will probably be done in a slightly different way, which can be interesting or exciting to you as the listener. You'll be like, oh, it's interesting how they swap these parts around, or the instrumentation is different, right? Or maybe they do an a cappella or an acoustic version of a popular song, and you can't find that online. You can only see it in person, and you now, because you know the original, can appreciate it so much more. The fourth tip for making the most of your concert experience as a fan is to grab something from merch, from the merchandise section for the band, for the bands, the support bands, and the headliners. It's very possible that the merch that is being sold is a limited run only for that tour if the band is on tour. And if you buy it, you buy into a rare collectible piece, something that not only could one day prove to be valuable in the marketplace, but also for you, it's a bit of nostalgia. It's something that you can look back on and remember maybe the experience you had or the fun you had. And if it is a limited run, it's probably not going to be available on the online store in the future. So by buying that item there in person, you again sort of buy into this exclusive type of item. Also, buying merch actually helps support the band a lot more than you think. I've done multiple videos, and I'll probably do more on my channel about how band and artist finances work on the road, but merch is usually where the bands make the most money, or where the bands make any money, because there are a lot of fees that come up with a tour. Obviously the production, the travel, the crews, etc. Merch is something that after all the expenses are zeroed out for the tour, merch is how the bands usually end up making money. So buying merch items does actually help the band more than you may think. Fifth tip to making the most of your concert experience as a fan is to consider purchasing VIP packages or VIP options. Oftentimes when you buy VIP, which is like some sort of exclusive giveaway, you get to meet the band, early access, etc. For starters, it usually comes with a good combination of merch. So you can get some pretty sweet limited time merch. You can get vinyls, hats, meet and greets with the band where you can get a photo with them, get a signature with them. Again, all really contributing to the experience of the concert and putting in a bit of that nostalgia and memory making moments for your future. And additionally, VIP, typically, not every band does this. Every band does their VIP package differently, but usually VIP has some sort of early access where you can get into the show before everyone else, skip the line type thing. You usually get a separated viewing area in the concert or in the festival where you can be away from the GA crowd and have more space to walk around. Usually there, especially for the bigger festivals and arena style VIP packages, you get dedicated bars, dedicated food options, etc. Now you may have noticed I didn't mention anything about food or beverage at these concert shows, and that's because I don't believe that for the context of enjoying a show for the music, you need to necessarily go to the bar or get food. But there are certainly benefits to it, especially if you need to get something to eat. And maybe I'll make a different video because festivals and arena tours and concert halls and nightclubs all kind of do it differently. So there's not like one tip for how to take advantage of food and beverage. But I may make a video about some things to keep in mind. And lastly, the secret final tip for making the most of your concert experience as a fan. Thank you for staying to the end for this. This may be something that you already know. This may not come as a surprise, but when it comes to going to the bathroom, to the bar, to get food or whatever, don't do it during changeover times. So when bands are transitioning from one band to the next, that is usually the worst time to go to the bathroom, to go to the bar, because that is when everyone else goes. Everybody, when the music stops, they want to go get the next drink, they want to go use the bathroom, etc. It's the lines increase and it's just a cluster. So using reverse psychology, it's usually better to go to the bathroom or get food or get beverage, during a performance, during a set, usually at the beginning, because at the beginning is when everyone comes back to the stage, to the show, because they want to see the intro, the opening, etc. Now, during the changeover times, when everyone walks away from the stage, that could be a really great opportunity for you to get further into the crowd. So if you want to get closer to the stage, or maybe get to that front of house position, or if you want to be on the rail in the very front, the changeovers are a great time to do so, again, because this is when most people leave from the GA area. I feel like I'm making this video for like first time concert goers, but I don't know, you'd be surprised. I think people go to concerts not really knowing what to do or how to do it. They just go because they want to party, and that's cool. But there are definitely ways to enjoy it or maximize the amount of enjoyment. So that's the whole video, guys. That is how to make the most of your concert experience as a fan. Again, thank you for watching through the whole video. If you did, I am a full-time tour manager. So for me, the concert guest experience is very important to me. So if you have suggestions or tips for your personal concert experience, things that we can do on the back end to improve the experience for you, please let me know down in the comments. Also, if I missed anything in this video that's like super no-brainer, then please let me know, call me out on it, because I'm sure there are things people do today that are better than we've been doing it in the past few years. And again, guys, if you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn more about the Final Advance, visit thefinaladvance.com. We're going to have blog posts, courses for music industry personnel, a podcast, and so much more. My name is Alex Weyman. Thank you for coming to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.